Hopefully, break was a good break. Let's see if I can share this with you. We're recording, yes, we're recording this second half on April the 4th for the class called ELT 114 section 1 on a warm afternoon. Hopefully everyone got a good break. Are you here? I'm tapping. The teacher typed in the chat box, "Are you here?" And after long silence, a very shy student replied to the teacher in the chat box. I'm the only student in the classroom. Okay, I would love to share with you a website. I'm going to include the sounds, but first, before we go to that, the idea is that we can understand the differences between phonemic and phonetic transcription, right? But some elements that are part of the International Phonetic Alphabet, right? This is what we're doing basically. We're covering the International Phonetic Alphabet, but only the sounds that are produced by English-speaking people. We're learning this language, we're practicing this language, therefore we're not using all the information provided here in this a chart, right, in the International Phonetic Alphabet, but we're using some of them, right? We're using the plosive bilabials, plosive alveolar sounds, the plosive velar, and also the glottal stop, which is not, the last one, this is not a phoneme, this is an allophone, if you remember, right, in English. We're using the nasal, bilabial, the alveolar, nasal, and the velar nasal, right? We're using the trill, we're using the flap or tap, we're using the fricative labiodental, fricative dental or interdental, fricative alveolar, fricative postalveolar, and we're using this fricative glottal, right, which is voiceless. We are also using the approximant Y, and we're using the lateral alveolar L. And also we're using the W, right, which is also a semi-vowel along with this approximant. In terms of the diacritics that I would like to pay attention to are the diacritic representing voiceless consonant sounds. If you remember, n and d are voiced, but sometimes, depending on the context, they are devoiced and become voiceless consonant sounds. Okay, so that happens sometimes if we pay attention. Also, the symbol representing aspiration. If the sound in initial position, this plosive t, I think we covered t, k, and p, voiceless, aspirated, but also sometimes voiced plosive sounds, right, can also present aspiration in initial position, like dies, dies. If you try to say dies with a Spanish d,
Dice.
You get something like dice, right? Dice, which is different, right? Dice from dice, dice, dia, day, dia, right? So day, the d, which is a voiced a plosive sound, also maybe aspirated in English. We're going to use the diacritic representing syllabic. The idea that a schwa is being elided, but still this symbol would be considered like the nucleus of that specific syllable. We can have l, that can be syllabic, n, which can be syllabic, and which can be syllabic as well. Also, the concept of rhoticity that I was mentioning when we were analyzing Gaspar's task, right? Having an and for example, in there, right, there, and representing this rhoticity in the end. After the schwa, this small sort of tail, right, could represent that the speaker is using some rhoticity there. Dental, we can use this symbol to represent that a sound is dentalized, meaning a t, for example, and or a d, which are alveolar sounds, right? The tip of the tongue is raised to touch the alveolar ridge, which is above the or behind the upper teeth, may be produced a little bit lower when is next to an interdental, like in think or the. So how can we represent that the sound t and d are produced a little bit lower, closer to the teeth, using this diacritic, which says that the sound has been dentalized. Apical is also a concept. I don't think we're going to be using this one a lot, right? But we're definitely going to be using the no audible released or unreleased plosive. Particularly the sounds, the plosive sounds d, for instance, or k or p, which go at the end. Sometimes they are not produced, therefore they are not heard by the speaker. So we call them that they are unreleased. Okay, so that's those are basically the concepts that we're going to be referring to. So let me share now some sounds. I want you to have a copybook next to you, okay? And I want you to pay attention to the first word, okay? I'm going to have a word. I'm going to play the word. And I want you to pay attention to the way it sounds, right? Here we go. Number one. Can you hear it?
Taps.
Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yes, Professor.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to play it 3 times, all right? Here we go.
Taps. Taps. Taps.
Maybe one more time or two times again.
Taps. Taps.
All right, did you get something like this? I don't know if you can see it at the bottom. Something like,
Yes.
yes, okay.
It was
Taps,
something like that.
something like this, right?
But
Taps.
Yes, go ahead, please.
for me, it's totally tips. I didn't hear the like taps or taps. It was
Oh,
tips.
okay, let me try again.
Taps. Taps. Taps.
So you heard short and lax e as in tips, tips.
Uh,
Taps.
Now I heard the taps. So I don't know what happened, but uh, after see it's like after seeing the transcription, I understand the word. That is not good, but it works.
Yeah, it is. Okay, next word. Ready? And here we go.
Link. 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 Link.
Right, did you get something like this at the bottom?
Yes, but I don't understand the ng or the
Link.
end with the think down.
Link.
Right, the thing is that usually the n becomes velarized, meaning that this k and the g, as they are velar sounds, right? And you are pronouncing this n, and as this word is getting ready for the next one, it becomes like an and not a n. It's not link, 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 link. So there is a sort of a regressive assimilation process, right, in which the sound k is is influencing the previous sound. So every time you find an n followed by a k or a g, this sound becomes and not n. Not as in no, never, nine, but as the last sound is in sing or going. Okay, that's the influence of the k of the velar. So this sound is velarized here. And previously, as you know, whenever you have a vowel sound next to or before a nasal sound, and we know that this one is nasal, right? Um, the vowel sound is nasalized. Therefore, how do we show this? By placing this small sign, this small diacritic symbol above the vowel sound, the symbol representing the vowel sound. Okay, that's the idea here. So I don't know if I don't know if it's clear. Or not really.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. So the idea here is that we have the word link, and the final sound is a velar consonant sound, right? K, k. And as a velar consonant sound, whenever you have a sound like a sound that's like n, this one is influenced by this velar sound, so it becomes n. For example, even if you find the word, for example, in the word ink, same thing, ink, or I don't know which other word. Let me think, please. For example, the word uncle. In the word uncle, right? Because when we have the word uncle, we need to think about a wedge, right? Uncle, right? Something like that. Uncle. Now, we don't see any schwa here, so this is a syllabic uncle. You go from k to So the is that syllabic okay? And here we have an n before a k, a velar consonant sound. So it's not uncle, but uncle. So this one becomes that. So when you transcribe uncle, you need to consider the symbol before a velar consonant sound, such as, you know, for example, k or g. So before k and k, and you have this sound, this becomes okay. And we have a vowel sound here, which is coming before, is preceding, right? Consonant nasal sound. So it's nasalized, and we show nasalization using this diacritic symbol. Okay, a little bit clearer than before, or not so much?
It's clear for me, teacher.
Okay. All right, all right. Let's try a different one. Okay, this one, because I don't want to make life easy on you. Not now. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Pay attention.
Purse. 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 Purse.
All right, did you get something like this?
Yes,
Yes. All right, all right.
but I don't understand the meaning of the word. I don't understand the word, neither the meaning.
You don't understand the word self. Okay, all right, got you with that. Let me see if I can show you this. Okay. So the word is purse, purse, purse. Purse. Do you know what a purse is?
Is a little bag of female bag or not?
Ah, yes, it is. Yes, it is. So that's pretty much it. Okay, so purse. Let's try another one, right? Let's see if we can get lucky with the next one. Oh, here. All right, here we go. Am I sharing? Am I sharing the sound? Sorry, I don't know if I'm sharing the sound. If you could give me some feedback, please. Oh, this one's good. I think you're going to like this one. Okay, here we go.
Strength. 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 Strength.
Right, did you get something like that? Did you get something like this one?
Strength.
All right, let me see if I can get some ideas here from some participants. Let's see, Amaya, do you remember which was the your option for the task? Could you remind us about the option you had in mind? Or maybe William, if you could remind us about the option you have in mind. I do remember Ellen DeGenerate's interviews as one of the options. I'm going to take the first one. Will
Is
Smith.
one of the biggest movie stars in the world. Please welcome Will Smith. Our first guest is one of the biggest movie stars.
Okay. So if you're here and if you're listening and you are actually seeing the PowerPoint, sorry, it's not a PowerPoint, the program. Sorry. Okay. Thank you, Amaya, for telling me. I'm going to copy and paste this link in the chat box so that you are able to watch the link on your own if you cannot hear it properly, right? So the idea is that we can focus on the first lines here.
Our first guest is one of the biggest movie stars in the world. Please welcome Will Smith.
Okay, so the last thing we're going to focus on is his last name, Smith, right?
Our first guest is one of the biggest movie stars in the world. Please welcome Will Smith.
Okay, so I'm going to repeat it again.
Our first guest is one of the biggest movie stars in the world. Please welcome Will Smith.
Okay, so my question is quite open, and I would like you to pay attention to anything that is connected with because we're not doing the transcription here, right? We could, but what I want you to focus is in terms of features of connected speech. What features of connected speech are present in Ellen DeGenerate's presentation, all right, of Will Smith. Here we go again.
Our first guest is one of the biggest movie stars in the world. Please welcome Will Smith.
Okay, so what calls your attention from this?
Our first guest is one of the biggest movie stars in the world. Please welcome Will Smith.
Okay, anything that called your attention?
Our first guest is one of the biggest movie stars in the world. Please welcome Will Smith. Our first guest is one of the biggest movie stars.
Our first guest, the T is almost elided, right? Our first guest, we don't hear guest, right?
Our first guest is one of the biggest. Our first guest is.
And there's no rhoticity in the first our. It's not our. Our
first guest is one of the biggest movie stars in the world.
Do you hear the world? She doesn't say the world, right? In the world. So she is using this function word. She's stressing, emphasizing the article in the world. So she's using the strong form, not the weak form, for the article the. She's saying the world, right?
One of the biggest movie stars in the. Smith. Our first guest is one of the biggest movie stars in the world. Please.
In the world, no in the, in the.
In the world, exactly.
In the
So
world, yes.
So you change the weak form for a strong form. You change the for the when you are emphasizing, right? Something that it's connected with in the sense in the world, in the entire world, right? That's the idea.
The world, please welcome. Our first guest is one of the biggest movie stars in the.
Focus on the word biggest. Biggest.
Our first guest is one of the biggest movie stars in the world.
What happens with the word biggest?
Our first guest is one of the biggest movie stars in the world.
Biggest, no biggest.
Right. So how do we call that? How do we call it in terms of features that connect to speech?
Elision?
Elision. That's right.
Elision.
Elision. That's right.
Our first guest is one of the biggest movie stars in the world. Please welcome Will Smith. Our first guest is one of the biggest movie stars in the world. Please welcome Will Smith.
So how does she says Smith? Is it like Smith or Smith? Is it with a voiced interdental or voiceless interdental? What do you think?
Smith. Our first guest is one of the biggest movie stars in the world. Please welcome Will Smith. Smith. Our first guest is one of the biggest movie stars in the world. Please welcome Will Smith. Smith. Our first guest is one of the biggest movie stars in the world. Please welcome Will Smith.
So Smith, right? Smith would be the voiceless interdental fricative, right? Smith, but she doesn't get to say Smith, but Smith, almost as Smith as I wouldn't say voiced, but it's not exactly it doesn't have the same quality, right? Let's see what Ismail good rap, and that's Bastian's preference. What is
Yeah, it was a good rap.
What's a good one, right? Now, what's the first thing he says?
Thanks a lot,
Right, Bastian. Rap princess, or maybe prince, right? Because he's a male, so right, maybe prince, right? So thanks a lot. What do we have there? Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. So what do you have there? Thanks a lot, Ellen. In terms of features of connected speech, anything?
It's like when you put together words. You know what I'm saying.
Yes, I know. I know what you. Okay, thanks a lot, Ellen. What do we have there? I think I'm getting the messages faster in my cell phone than in the laptop's
Link?
chat box.
No,
Yes, sir.
like,
That's right.
it's not
Linking.
me.
You got it.
Me.
Yeah,
Oh,
linking.
good.
Good. Very well. Very well done. Linking. So there's a linking. Thanks a lot, Ellen. Thanks a lot. It sounds like one big chunk, right? Thanks a lot, Ellen. Thanks a lot, Ellen. And when you transcribe things, going back to the previous idea that I mentioned, right? When you transcribe things, you have also this nasal, right? Before k. Thanks. Thanks a lot, right? What's the next thing that Will Smith says?
Thanks a lot, Alan. It's been great. That's all we.
It's been great. Is the next that he said.
Come again, please.
It's been great. It's been great.
It's been great. Exactly. It's been great. So anything that you can find there? It's been great. Let me see if I can get it.
Thanks a lot, Alan. It's been great.
So it's been
Thanks a lot, Alan. It's been great.
it's been great, right? It's been great. Now remember what I told you. Let me see if I can transcribe this for you. It's been great. It's been great. Okay, so it's been great. I have it right here. Let me see if I can show this to you. Okay, it's been great. Let me see if I can get rid of the strength word because the in great. Okay. So what can we say about this? And also we're not using we were using slashes before, right? Slashes before, and now we agreed that we were using brackets for the phonetic transcription, right? Is that it? Yes. Okay. So what can we say here? What's going on? Let's see if there's any comment. No comments in the chat box. Okay, it's been great. It's been great. So it's been great. We have a vowel sound here before a nasal sound. Therefore, what we do is we use this diacritic above there, right? It's been great. There's this consonant sound in been. It's coming before g, which is a velar sound, right? It's been great. It's been great. So this may turn into this other symbol.
Okay. Always when it is before an alveolar is ng. Ng.
Exactly.
It becomes ng. Okay.
Exactly. Particularly when the speaker, right, is producing this sound very, very fast, right? And the tongue is getting ready for the next sound, which is a velar sound. this becomes velarized. There's a sort of a regressive assimilation, an assimilation that goes from right to left. It's backwards. So this sound becomes velarized.
Right to left.
From right to left. Yeah, that's the regressive assimilation, right?
Regressive assimilation. Right. Right.
Right. Regressive assimilation. That's right. It's been this it's the t is it's a plosive, but it's not aspirated. So we don't use this symbol that looks like an H, right? We're not using this symbol here, no, because it's not aspirated, right? Same thing here. The last one, great. What do you think? It's been great, great, great. We could use, but I think it's not aspirated in final position in general. Okay, so I would use an aspiration form, an aspiration diacritic mark only in initial position. Okay, so this is an example in which you can see that even though they are two separate words, right? Bin, it's one separate word, and great is another one. In fast speech, right, or when people are speaking, at a normal pace, sounds may be influenced in this word boundary, right? This is a word boundary. Okay. Let's see if we can get a little bit more from. Wow, it's. Let's see what time it is. Okay. And 40. 340. Okay, I think we're about to finish, but the idea is that you are able to at least identify and use the diacritic symbols when you are presenting aspiration, right, in initial position. Let me see if I can share with you this PowerPoint. Yes. So the idea is that at least you're able to show aspiration, right? In plosives in initial position, syllabic consonants, right? By placing this small symbol, diacritic symbol below, right? The or the or the n. It doesn't matter if you use the symbol the other way around and you place this symbol at the bottom, right? Rhoticity, particularly after a schwa, you don't need to use a symbol like an but you can just add this small tail here. And I would say another is the unreleased plosive sound, the unreleased, which is plosive sounds at the end, right? Like in, for example, rope, 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 rope. In the last p, there's no aspiration, right? It's a controlled flow of air, which is blocked, but there's no plosion. So we use this symbol to represent that. And maybe if you're able to use this one, the dental diacritic symbol, that is used when these plosive sounds go before an interdental, right? And they become dentalized consonant sounds, not alveolar, but the influence of these interdental sounds lowers the tip of the tongue, not touching the alveolar ridge, but being placed before the upper teeth. Okay, so I would focus on this aspiration feature, on the syllabic feature, rhoticity for rhoticity after a schwa, unreleased plosives, and also dentalization of plosive sounds, specifically dentalization of plosive of the alveolar sounds, t and d, specifically. Okay. I think this one is something that you also know, the dark the one that you find in at the end of words like roll or call, roll, call, pole, right? In which the goes at the end, and it becomes it gets a darker quality, right? It's not the same quality that you find in this sound in initial position, such as the words like long, late, lies, linger. So with the first this the sound in initial position, you get the tip of the tongue in alveolar ridge, and it doesn't have the same qualities when you put it at the end in words like the ones that I mentioned in roll, roll, call. So that's the symbol. This is the symbol used right there in the middle to refer to the dark the that goes in final position. So I would say that also we could consider this for your phonetic transcription. Okay. I don't know if there's any comment or questions before we finish this session.
Is there any rubric for this task?
The rubric. I think I haven't uploaded it yet, so I think I'm going to upload it today, tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow, and we can discuss the rubric next session, which is on Friday. Okay.
You know why I am asking? Because, for example, we have to be sure what is more important to do. Our voices are similar to the speaker. If we do a good transcription, for example, maybe we have a mistake in these terms, in these symbols, but the transcription is good. It doesn't have a big mistake. Or that is my doubt. It's more important to do it similar or have a good transcription. But all that things I know that are in the rubric, so that is why we need a rubric.
Absolutely, but what I can tell you in advance is that what I'm looking for is a consistency between your imitation and your transcription. So if your imitation contains or the original speaker says or uses flaps, that you are imitating the speaker's flaps, and then you are using the flap symbol to transcribe that specific sound. I'm looking for consistency, not that your imitation is as close as possible or perfect in terms of imitating the pitch, imitating the tonality and the tonicity, and imitating every single feature of connected speech that the speaker is producing. But the consistency between what you're transcribing and what you're saying during your imitation, I think that's what I'm looking for. So that's what I was mentioning to Gaspar in his transcription, that if there's rhoticity in the end and he's saying, or the speaker is saying there, that in the transcription I can see that rhoticity, or if the
That's
speaker,
right.
right, and if the speaker is using syllabic consonants, right, like in, for example, little, little, when you go from t to right, and you don't have a schwa, then becomes a syllabic right, little. So that should be, for example, in the way you imitate the speaker and also in the transcription. So I'm looking for that consistency of what you have in your transcription and what you say while you're imitating the speaker. So I may, I even may listen to your imitation and look at the transcription, then listen to the original speaker. I may not be as interested as in your transcription and your imitation than in the original speaker, as long as your transcription and your imitation are sort of equivalent, are sort of complementing each other. I don't know if it makes sense.
Yes.
Okay, so but definitely the rubric will have clear parameters and also descriptors for you to read. Okay, I'll try to upload it as soon as possible, meaning between tomorrow and Wednesday, right? But I think I could try tomorrow, and but that's what I'm looking for, right? The consistency between your transcription and your imitation. Not necessarily how good your imitation is by comparing your imitation with the original version of the video or the original version of the speech. Okay? Alrighty, so but in any case, if there's any question that comes up to you later, you can write it in the Teams, all right, so that everyone can read the question, and I can answer it through Teams as well, right? Do you get messages through Teams? What if I type something? Do you get an instruction when you're not when we're not having classes?
If we enter to Teams, we can see your message.
Okay. So you don't get messages if you're not connected.
Like with, like for example, in email that it appears on our cell phones. On our no, that doesn't. For me, doesn't happen in Teams. It's not like an
Okay.
alert. Is if
Me
I
too.
enter to
Me too.
Teams, I can see your message.
I'm sorry, there was another voice. Thank you, Bastian. Thank you very much for that useful information. Because I get messages in the email, the institutional email, when I get comments, anything, any message like a question in Teams, right? I get a message in my institutional email, and therefore I can go to Teams to see if what the matter is. So that's the idea, right? So I guess I need to send messages through the LMS, not through Teams. I think you get them. I think you get them, right? Do you? Do you get messages through the LMS?
Yes.
Okay, good. Good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be seeing you on Friday. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Talk to you later, hopefully on Friday. All right. See you.
Have a nice day too.
Have a nice day, Professor.
Right.
See you on Friday.
You too. I thank
Bye,
you.
teacher.
Goodbye. I just realized that my camera was off. Sorry, I just realized that. So I'll see you on Friday. You all take care.